In some situations, we are not willing to find out the solution as a number. And this is something that sometimes is difficult for students because they're used to get answers as numbers, like x equals 3, x equals 5. But in some cases, the answer could be an expression. And in some case, like the case it happens here, you have a region. So we're going to see how to solve a system of inequalities. Let's go with it. Okay, to solve a system of inequalities, you need to know how to graph inequalities. This is the first step that you need to verify in order to solve a system of inequalities. So we're going to start with a system of inequalities. Let's write a system of inequalities. I'm going to write it on this side. The system is y greater than or equal to 3x minus 1. The other inequality is 3x minus 2y is greater than negative 6. And the other inequality is y greater than or equal to 2. So our objective is to find out what are the numbers that I can have. I'm going to move a little bit because I just noticed that I draw. Okay, now you can see better. Now, so our objective is to find out the solution of this system. And what it means, the solution of this system? It means what are the points that I can use in the Cartesian plane that solve this system. So this is like the first step when you're applying for linear programming, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to find out an idea to get the solution of this system. And how to do it? So we're going to graph these inequalities in the Cartesian plane. So I'm going to do it one by one. Let me start with the first inequality, the inequality that says y greater than or equal to 3x minus 1. So to graph this inequality, you need to graph the lines. So this is the first thing you need to do. We're going to graph the lines. Remember that this line is going to be 3x minus 1, so it means that the y-intercept is negative 1. So I'm going to put a point on 0, negative 1. That will be the first point. And the gradient of this line is 3. So remember that this means rise over run. It means that it rises 3 when it runs 1. So the second point will be here. So I rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 1. So this is the second point. So now I just need to graph this line. So I'm going to graph this line. I'm going to just take a ruler and draw my line. So you have the line that represent the function y equals 3x minus 1. Look at that, it says greater than or equals to, so I'm going to keep a solid line. A solid line because it's y equals 3x minus 1. Now what I'm going to do is to shade what is the unwanted region. And I'm going to keep the wanted region unshaded. So what means the unwanted region? Means that the region of the points that are not according to this inequality. In this case, y should be greater than the line. So it means that all the points that are above the line or over the line are allowed. And the points below the line are not allowed. So as these points are not allowed, I'm going to shade them. So I'm going to do like a shade to show that this is the region that does not correspond to my line. Okay? We can color it and make it beautiful, but I'm doing quickly. Now, the next step is that in the same Cartesian plane, I'm going to grab the second inequality. But as you can observe, the second inequality, it's in terms of 3x minus 2y greater than negative 6. So I don't have it in the form y equals mx plus c or y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is to solve this inequality for y to get the inequality. I'm going to do it on this side. So I'm going to write here 3x minus 2y greater than negative 6. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. So I'm going to get negative 2y greater than negative 6 minus 3x. And I'm going to divide all terms by negative 2, but as I divide by negative, I should reverse the direction of the inequality. So y is less than negative 6 over negative 2 minus 3 over negative 2x. So I'm just going to have that y is less than negative 6 divided negative 2 is 3, negative divided negative is plus 3/2 of x. So I have the line, so this second expression is just the line y less than 3 plus 3/2 of x. So I'm going to plot it. What will be the y-intercept? The y-intercept is going to be 3. So I'm going to put a point on 3. And now the gradient is 3/2. So it means that if I raise 3, I should run 2. So I'm going to raise 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so I already have my 2 points. Now I'm going to draw my line. And I have my line. Now what you should keep into account, that in this case, the line is less than, not less than or equal. So I'm not going to do a solid line, but I'm going to have a dashed line. Let me see if I can fix it here. Correct. So now I'm going to do a dashed line. Okay? Because it's less than. Remember, if the inequality has greater than or equal, so we put a solid line. And if the inequality is a solid line, it's not a solid line when it's greater or less than. So we don't put the solid line. And now we have to do the unwanted region. We're going to shade the unwanted region. Just remember, shaded the unwanted region, so it will be y less than this line will be all the region below the line. This is the region of solution. So it means that the unwanted region will be the region that is above the line. This region is not going to be allowed. So I'm going to tell that this region is not allowed. Okay, this is the unwanted region. Not allowed. So in this case, we have the two inequalities and the unwanted regions. In some books, it's important to tell you that in some books, sometimes they shade the wanted region, not the unwanted region. And in some books, they show you that the solution of the inequality is given by the shaded regions. And the region that you shade more is going to be the wanted region, the solution. But look at that, how easy I can get using the unwanted region. Why I'm doing the unwanted region? Because I'm not using a lot of colors. I'm just using black in this situation. If I have more colors, maybe it would be easier if I shade the wanted region. But in this case, I'm shading the unwanted region. It's important that you take into account that we're, in this case, shaded the unwanted region. Sometimes you will be allowed to shade the wanted region. So you need to be careful just with this. In this case, we're shading the unwanted region. So let's go back to the board and continue with the last part. And the last part is to graph the line y greater than or equal to 2. So the line y greater than or equal to 2 is just a horizontal line because it says that y is always 2. So I'm going to put my point. So y is always 2, look at. So draw the line. It says greater than or equal, so it should be a solid line in this direction. Okay? And I'm going to shade the unwanted region. So observe that this region here is going to be the allowed region, anything that is greater than 2, and the unwanted region will be any number less than 2. So I'm going to shade the unwanted region. Okay, I can continue here, here until infinite, here, 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 okay, here, any place here. And what is the solution of the system? So as I shed all the unwanted regions, the solution of the system will be the region that has no shade. So in this case, the region that has no shade is this one that we can see here. I'm going to put an arc to show you the region. That will be the solution of our system of inequalities. And this is how you get the solution of the system of inequalities. So it means that any point inside this region R is going to be a solution of the system. Look at that in the solid lines, they are also solutions of the system. So for example, the point 0, 2 is a solution of the system. The point 1, 2 is a solution of the system. The point 1, 3 is a solution of the system. But for example, the point 0, 3 is not a solution of the system because it's not on the wanted region. As it's a dashed line means that it's not in the region. Okay? And this is how you can get the solution of a system. This is how you can get the solution of a system of inequalities. And this is how you can work on a system of inequalities, and this is how you can work on getting the solution of a system of inequalities. This is how you can solve any problem doing inequalities. And just to finish, I suggest you to solve this system and chat me or send me a message of the solution of the system. What did you find for the solution of this system? The solution of the system is y less than 2x minus 1, 2x plus 5y greater than or equal 15, and x less than or equal to 5. So I suggest you to grab the system of inequalities, find the unwanted regions, and find out which one is the region R that I'm showing here. Okay, remember that when I erase it. Okay, so and find the region R and some points that are allowed to solve the system. And I hope that this video helps you to understand more about solving situations using systems of linear inequality. See you in the next video. Bye bye.